If I told you that a green gummy vitamin hit a $500 million valuation in under 2 years, you'd probably assume that there was some crazy AI technology, a new molecule, or a viral moment behind it, but Grüns did it with none of that. Grüns has raised over $50 million. They recently closed a $35 million round, pushing them over the $500 million valuation. They're on track to hit a $300 million run rate, and they did it all on the back of one single product. Not 10 SKUs, not a full wellness line, one hero green gummy vitamin. They're sitting on the shelves of Target, Sprouts, Walmart, Amazon, and Sam's Club. Their branding is cute and approachable, and their core pitch is basically that gummy beats salad. And they're growing as fast as some of the hottest AI startups. The punchline from the outside is simple. Consumers want foundational nutrition and functional benefits, but they want it in a format that's fun and easy to consume. And Grüns gave them that in a way that looks so obvious in hindsight. But the narrative that caught fire wasn't just the gummies. It was the idea that Grüns hacked growth with a persona funnel strategy that every founder should copy. So let's pull that apart. On paper, the strategy sounds like a growth marketer's dream. One product, multiple personas. Each persona gets its own funnel, narrative, and reason to care. Same gummies, different problem solution narratives. Instead of saying this is a Grüns gummy for everyone, Grüns takes a much smarter approach by asking the question, who are all of the different types of people who may benefit from this product, and how can we talk to them in a way where they know that this is the solution for their specific problem? And for Grüns, that question turned into 6 different funnels. You have a main funnel for general nutrition gaps. The hook is something like, you have nutrition gaps, Grüns fills them. It's broad and benefit heavy. Gut, immunity, brain health, lots of social proof showing over 1 million members, 4.8 stars, clinical backing, and a huge focus on convenience over traditional pills and powders. There's a gut health funnel for women dealing with digestive issues like bloating, constipation, and general digestive upset. The landing page leads with 6 reasons why Grüns is your gut's new bestie. It talks about better poops, microbiome science, 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, and the classic education line that 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. The language feels approachable, like you're talking to a friend, not scientific like you're talking to a pharmacist or a doctor. There's also a weight loss funnel for people who are trying to lose weight and are concerned about getting enough nutrition while they're eating less. The hook on that landing page is 6 reasons why Grüns is a must-have on your weight loss journey. They take the angle here of having the most nutrition per calorie and connect metabolism, nutrition density, and gut health into one story. They also highlight that there's only 20 calories per packet in the sugar-free version, highlighting that you're not going to blow your deficit while you're calorie counting. Along the same vein, there's also a GLP-1 funnel for people who are using weight loss drugs like Ozempic or Wegovy and experiencing some of the negative side effects like constipation, reduced appetite, and sluggish digestion. The hook on that page is 7 benefits GLP-1 users love about Grüns besides the poops. This one also positions Grüns as the GLP-1 user's new bestie and talks about how important nutrients per calorie is, especially when you're eating less. Not only that, but it uses real testimonials from GLP-1 users who couldn't go to the bathroom before taking their Grüns. There's also a protein support funnel aimed at gym goers and fitness lovers. The landing page opens with 5 reasons why your protein isn't working and how to fix it for $1.50 per day. It agitates the idea that you might be wasting over $1,000 a year on protein that your body just isn't absorbing. Then it brings in B vitamins, muscle building, and recovery to position Grüns as the missing layer behind your protein shakes. Then there's the competitor funnel. AG1 is Grüns' biggest competitor, and so on this landing page, they share how much easier Grüns is to take over messy powders despite having the same ingredients. They focus on how it's 1000% easier to take it every day. There's no chalky taste, no shaker to clean, and no mess. The product doesn't change, it's the same 60 ingredients. Instead, what changes is the story around those ingredients and how they're meaningful in different ways to different people. Because each funnel focuses on one unique pain point, Grüns is able to agitate that pain point and then position their one product as the single obvious solution for that pain point. If you're a founder, this is the first lesson. Most brands try to tell one big story that kind of fits everyone, but Grüns built a set of smaller, hyper-targeted stories that each feel like they were made for just one type of person. When Grüns announced their $500 million valuation, the persona funnels is the story that everyone grabbed onto. Hyper-targeted, a single product wrapped in multiple experiences. But when you dig a little deeper, things start to get interesting. When you start to hear this persona narrative enough times, you start to imagine the machinery behind it. You can picture a massive persona matrix with multiple avatars, pain points, proof points, and offers. You can picture each ad mapping to its own landing page with its own customized email and nurture flows. And you can picture it being all stitched together with a very clean tech stack. Because persona funnels were the reason behind Grüns' $500 million growth, you would assume that there is an incredibly detailed playbook that tells them exactly how to build and scale these persona funnels. So when the CMO of Grüns, Connor Dalt, goes on a podcast to talk about persona funnels and growth, you would expect that playbook to finally show up. In Connor's interview, he talks about the importance of every touch point laddering up to personas. He mentions how messaging should stay consistent from ad to landing page and life cycle. He gives credit to Meta as a major driver early on in Grüns' growth. He also mentioned that Grüns' growth engine feels a lot more sophisticated than a typical startup at only 2.5 years old. But when the host started to ask him questions about persona funnels, his answers started to get very thin. He wasn't able to share much detail about the personas at all. No information on how they structured the persona matrix, no real breakdown of how they prioritized the personas to test and in what order. He didn't outline a system for how they mapped pain points to creative and then decided what would move on to become a permanent persona. And he didn't provide any specifics on tools, workflows, or creative operations. Instead, Connor focused his emphasis on things like having a fun, irreverent brand, having a huge reliance on Meta to get the brand off the ground, a lot of testing around conversion rate and optimization, having a culture of talking to customers and using their language, and the importance of having a strong focus on new customer acquisition cost and LTV to CAC ratios. In other words, the persona story is there, but it's not presented as a highly systematized strategy for growth. It sounds much more like persona funnels were a broader approach that the growth team took, rather than a single magic key to their $500 million valuation. And for me, that's where the disconnect shows up. Instead, we got a very loose idea of the persona funnel. However, we did get a much sharper view into something else, the real driver behind Grüns' $500 million growth. Once you stop treating persona funnels as the hero and start looking at the full picture, Grüns' growth seems a lot less magical and more like disciplined, high-velocity execution on a few key levers. And the first lever is format. While the rest of the category fought over powders and pills, Grüns leaned into becoming what's called an experience-first product. It's the gummy advantage. With twice the absorption compared to tablets, according to their clinical claims, no mess compared to powders, and a great taste. Summertime strawberries, anyone? Grüns created a superior product, and they packaged that product in a portable sachet that you can bring to your run club, throw in your gym bag. Grüns picked clear enemies. Boring vegetables that you don't want to eat anyway, chalky powders that are a mess to mix, and pills that feel like a chore. Then they wrapped all of the functional benefits of Grüns into an enjoyable daily ritual. This alone is a massive unlock. When the default experience in your category is unpleasant, simply making it more enjoyable is a growth strategy. The second lever is media and measurement. Grüns bet aggressively on Meta early on, and while other brands were either pulling back or diversifying their media mix, they weren't afraid of having a high percentage of ad spend in one channel. Instead, they were focused on making that one channel work extremely hard for their brand. Grüns ran a heavy creative testing program with new hooks, new angles, new creators, new landing pages. They weren't running a couple of variations per month. They were running a constant stream of tests that helped them find and scale winning narratives fast. They used measurement tools like Northbeam to get clarity and confidence in their data. And according to the case study on Northbeam's website, website. This clarity gave them enough confidence to 22 times their spend, which resulted in a 40 times lift in revenue. They build their models around new customer CAC and LTV to CAC ratios. If the numbers that they're seeing support it, they scale. If they don't, they adjust. The third lever is creators and community. Instead of blowing their budget on a handful of macro influencers, Grüns focused their budget on nano and micro voices. These were people like wellness coaches, fitness TikTokers, and lifestyle creators, people who have small but highly engaged audiences. And this does a few things for growth. The first is that it creates a constant stream of fresh, authentic content to test and pay. By focusing on niche communities, it makes the product feel like it's everywhere. And it contrasted nicely against competitors like AG1, who relied heavily on big names like Joe Rogan or Andrew Huberman. On top of that, the format itself is incredibly shareable. By putting their product in these individual packs, it makes it really easy to hand out to friends, to record, and to fit that I brought this to my run club narrative I kept seeing in all of my research. The fourth lever is a focus on the fundamentals. As a company, Grüns is only 2.5 years old. During their first year, Grüns obsessed over product feedback and made quick pivots based on what customers shared. In year 2, they leaned more heavily into flavors, collaborations, and retail expansion. Throughout all of that, they held the line on CAC, used data to inform their decisions, and kept tightening their funnel. And here's where the personas do show up. Grüns interviews customers, listens for why people resonate with the product, and then use that language in their ads and on their landing pages. They then attach that to trends like GLP-1 use, gut health, and fiber, turning those insights into landing pages, ads, and offers. The Grüns persona strategy originally went viral on X, but the most important thing to realize is that the story that travels online is not the same that actually builds a company. Here's how I would translate this into action. Start with one persona, not 6. Pick the single best pain point that your product solves, and design one simple funnel that speaks directly to that person. One main hook, one landing page, and one email flow, making sure that you're using the same language all the way through. Make your product the easy choice to use. If your category is full of heavy, confusing, or annoying products, your advantage is not more features, it's a smoother experience. Build a lightweight creative testing habit. You don't need 20 new variations every week, but you do need a rhythm. Kill what doesn't work and double down when something does. Talk to your customers and use their words in your marketing. The most compelling lines in Grüns funnels weren't invented by a copywriter in a corporate vacuum. They're pulled from reviews, DMs, and real conversations that they had with their customers. Do the same. You can let your customers write your ads for you. And when you're ready to play with persona funnels, branch out slowly. Once your base funnel is working, add a second persona that's adjacent to your core. Build one more narrative around your same product, and test to see if it earns a permanent spot in your system. Grüns didn't become a $500 million brand because they found a shortcut. They picked a strong product insight, executed the basics of growth extremely well, and then layered smart storytelling and personas on top of that. From the inside, true growth is rarely sexy. It looks like testing, learning, and doing the right thing over and over again. If you want help building that kind of foundation in your own marketing, I break down the exact strategy that I've used to generate over $60 million in growth for my clients in my community, Modern Growth Guide. You can join right now for free by scanning the QR code on screen or clicking the link in the bio. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.